Hey pageant fans, it's your girl Teresa and I'm back with a rebrand. Welcome to T-Stance, the standard in pageantry, a global pageant coaching and media brand where queens learn to walk, talk, and slay with strategy while still bringing you reviews, recaps, wardrobe breakdowns, and all the insider strategy behind the crown. So whether you're a future title holder or a devoted pageant fan, this is your all-access pass to the world of pageantry, the art, the science, and the drama. Follow me on Instagram at @theofficialtstance for all the editorial content and insights you won't see anywhere else. Now, let's get into this week's episode. Hey pageant fans, I'm back with another episode. I'm going to be talking about all the things that have transpired with the Miss Universe organization. This video is probably going to be a little bit all over the place just because I just made some quick notes on some of the things I've seen transpire thus far. So I just want to share my thoughts on everything that's been happening. Now, of course, I want to start off by talking a little bit about my reaction to the 74th Miss Universe competition. I, like many people, was surprised by the results of this competition, mostly because Miss Mexico really wasn't on my radar in terms of being in my top 30 picks. So I was ultimately very surprised when she was named the winner. And also I was very disappointed because I really loved Côte d'Ivoire and I was really expecting her to walk away with the crown. Now, something you guys should know about me, if you kind of haven't put this together, is that I'm not the type of person that jumps straight to a pageant being unfair or a pageant being rigged or anything like that when my favorite or my prediction doesn't come true. I'm generally not that type of person. However, based on all of the issues, all of the things that have happened throughout the month of November as it relates to the Miss Universe competition, I think we have reason to be a little bit concerned, to be a little bit suspicious, and to feel like something just isn't right. Now, after watching the competition, I had a big reaction to it. I didn't expect to have a big reaction, but of course, I didn't expect what happened to happen. I honestly, because I watched it by myself, and I'm not the type of person that thinks that everyone thinks like me and has the same opinions like me. So I really didn't realize just how much my sentiments were being mirrored by the broader pageant community until about 24 to 48 hours later when I started to see all the commentary online about the pageant and just all the reels. Like, there were reels going around of showing people at the venue who were booing, who were chanting Côte d'Ivoire. And so it was really interesting to see and know that, wow, okay, my reaction was not uncommon. My reaction was right there with so many of you guys. So I'm honestly surprised that so many people had such a big reaction to this. And never in my years of watching Miss Universe, and I've been watching it for a long time, more recently in the last few years, I've been really following along, have I ever seen such an intense reaction to the results of the competition. And I think that is because over the years, we have come to know and understand kind of what Miss Universe is looking for. And I think for us watching it, there's a little bit of a disconnect with the results and what we have come to know that the organization values and looks for in a contestant, in the overall top 5, and in the winner, right? So it's a little bit off, I think. And I think that's why we're all feeling like, this just doesn't feel quite right, you know? And as a communications professional, if I were in Raúl's shoes at that time, 24 to 48 hours, and I'm seeing all this backlash and everybody talking and questioning the results and questioning the credibility and the integrity of the organization, of himself, like, if I were him, I would be going into crisis management mode. Where is the crisis management plan? Where is the comms person who's supposed to help them through the crisis, because they're in a crisis, and it doesn't really seem like they have those things in place. Because here's my thing. 24 to 48 hours after the competition, and you saw all of this transpiring where people were just upset and they could not get past it, and they were not getting past it. My thing is if you really had things done above board and there was no reason to question it, and you know within yourself that the results are beyond reproach, then have a press conference. Sit down, get your notes together, prepare your statement, sit down and answer the questions from the media. Now, maybe this happened and I just missed it, but I would say I didn't see anything like that. And I think that because they did not do that at a time when people are saying we want transparency, we want to see the results, we want to know what happened. And I feel like an additional reason why they should have sat down and did this big press conference is because there were so many things throughout this competition that were abnormal, that caused a lot of controversy. Everything from Nawat trying to have his own little mini competition where people had to vote for a dinner with him, to the way he spoke to Miss Mexico, to the fact that judges resigned before the competition, citing that it was rigged, like to Miss Jamaica, poor Miss Jamaica falling off the stage. There were so many things that happened in this time frame of 1 month that warrants an explanation, that warrants more conversation on what is going on with the organization. And the fact that they refuse to address these things in a professional, I would say, capacity, and one that would reassure and, start to build back the bonds of trust is questionable. It's suspicious, right? And it's not going to stop. It's not going to quiet down. And see, they've made a big mistake with this by not sitting down and addressing this adequately with the members of the media, so that the public, so that the fans can have closure on this. Perhaps, had they done this and shown us where, the results were the true results, and that they had an auditing firm. Where was the auditing firm? It was not evident, to me at least, that there was an auditing firm that tabulated the scores. I've been watching this for a long time. Years gone by, they used to have, I think it was Ernest & Young, forgive me if I got that wrong, and they used to have this guy, was it Tall or Todd or something, come on stage, and they would show you him in a nice suit, and he would come on and he would hand the results to the host, and the host would open them for the first time and read them out. Those things were done for a reason. Those things were done to show and reassure the public, hey, this auditing firm was the one who tabulated the results, and the results are now going to the host. Nobody else had their hands in this. This is strictly above board. And we didn't really see that. I didn't see that from the live stream. We went to commercial break, we came back, and boom, the host had the results, pulled them out of his jacket pocket, and that was it. He started reading them. We didn't get to see that moment. So of course, people are going to question, was there actually an auditing firm? And if there was an auditing firm, why hasn't the organization named said auditing firm? Again, did they name it and I missed it? Possible. And if they did, please comment down below and let me know, because I recognize that I don't always see everything that happens. So maybe they did and I just missed it. But as far as I can tell, they haven't named one. Many people are asking, who did the auditing? Like, who tabulated the scores? Like, what measures did you put in place to ensure that there would be no corruption? How can we trust that these are the true and verified results? And people are naturally going to question it because there is a lack of transparency, because the organization has not said, right, let's sit down, let's hash this out once and for all. We're going to answer your questions, truth to face, right here, right now, and let's get this over and done with, and let's bring closure to this, and let's celebrate the new winner. Hasn't happened. And that's why he's going to continue, and the Miss Universe organization is going to continue to feel the backlash from people. Now, this past week, I did see the reel where it was going around where Raul basically explained why Miss Côte d'Ivoire did not win the competition. And he cited it was because her passport required visas for like 175 countries or something like that, which I honestly think is a poor explanation for why she did not win. It was a really poor explanation. It's giving you don't have any media training. It's giving that you didn't think anything through. You were just speaking off the cusp of your head. But also from that reel, and I only saw a really short clip, I feel like when I saw that, I was like, yeah, this is the reaction of a person who is feeling the pressure. And I can just imagine how much pressure is being put on him by the fans, because the fans, y'all are relentless. I'm sure y'all up in his DMs, you up in his comments. Every time he turn around, there's probably emails, like there may even be phone calls. I would not be surprised if there were even phone calls at this point. Like, I know the pageant fans out there are some serious diehard pageant fans who want answers, and they will stop at nothing until they get them. So I can understand why he's feeling the pressure. But this type of conversation, this type of statement that you're making, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. Because what do you mean that her passport is the reason she didn't win? Did you announce to everyone involved in the competition that, hey, under my regime, you need to have a strong passport. Otherwise, you don't stand a chance. If you didn't announce that, you can't use that as criteria as to why someone didn't win or why someone shouldn't place higher. That's not fair. I mean, I'm sure the reason why it was never announced is because a lot of countries would have probably dropped out because they realize their passport is not as strong as some of the other countries. And that's probably why he didn't say it before. If that is even actually a true reason why she didn't place higher, right? So these are the type of things that you do not do when you are in crisis. You don't talk off the top of your head and say things without considering the consequences of what you're saying. Right? And this is exactly what he was doing in this interview, right? And so to me, it's completely unfair to the contestants as well. Knowing full well, if this is something that you are considering as a criteria, knowing full well and allowing the contestants to continue and get on that stage and compete, making them feel like they all have a chance to win it, knowing full well that they don't because you are considering this passport thing as a criteria. It's a facade. It's a facade. Do you understand what you're saying, Raul? Like, I don't think you do. Like, you're making matters worse for yourself because that doesn't absolve you. It makes it worse because it's a facade. You're letting people believe they have a chance when they don't. And you know what? Had you just been upfront and say, look, this year we're changing it up. You need to have XYZ visa, XYZ passport. Right? Then people couldn't question it. Then people would be like, they might be mad, but then at least they would know what they're getting themselves into. Right? You can't do that to people. It's not cool. Like, it's just not cool. And this is why people are continuing to give the organization so much backlash, because what do you mean her visa is a requirement? And as so many people have pointed out, the girl is well traveled. She done been all over the world. She apparently has an American passport. So what do you mean that this is the reason she didn't win? What do you mean? And also, when you say things like that, you're implying that you did indeed have something to do with the results. So you're not handling the situation with care. You are not handling it in the best interest of yourself, in the best interest of the organization. You're inciting people because right now people's emotions are heightened, and what you're saying is not building trust with people. It's not building credibility. It's actually deteriorating it even further and making people go, what? Huh? Like, come on. Seriously, come on. It's just giving you don't have media training. You don't have a crisis management plan. And there's nobody in the organization who's helping you. Is this an organization of one person at this point? Where is the CEO? Come to the front, Mr. CEO that they just appointed. What was his name? Mr. Mario Bucaro? Like, where are you? Like, where's the rest of the team? Who else is on this team? Because Raul needs some help. He out here getting all the heat. And there ain't nobody else out here getting the heat. Like, where are the people who are running this organization? Who's the comms person? Come to the front, because it's not making sense. Like, be so for real. Now, something that stood out to me during this interview, I went and I watched the full interview. So if you haven't watched the full interview, you definitely should go and watch it. It is here on YouTube. It is in Spanish. I did use subtitles, so I'm basing it off of what I read through the subtitles on YouTube. And something that I thought was interesting was there were 2 times when Raul was asked about his relationship or whether or not the outcome had anything to do with his relationship with Fatima's father, because it's been alleged that they've been in business, or that they were in business, or they have some kind of contract or something, that they know each other in some way, shape, or form, right? And there were 2 times that this interviewer asked him, one kind of early on and one later on in the interview. Both times I noted, right? And to me at this point, nothing that he actually says is going to reassure me, because he's not really being transparent. He's not really being informative. It's not something that I hold with high esteem. But I'm looking at the behavior. In all the other questions that she asked him, he had a quick response. Like, he was shooting off something. He was saying something. He was quick to respond. But when it came to these 2 questions, he hesitated both times. He hesitated both times before he responded. The first time I gave him a little blight, I was like, okay, well, maybe he needs to think about it and choose his words carefully. The second time, I was like, why are you hesitating so much? If the answer is no, then the answer is straight up no, unequivocally. Like, you're supposed to be defending yourself, the integrity of the organization. You need to come out and firmly say, no, I don't have any relationship with the father. I don't know him. I only met him. Like, come out guns blazing, just like you did when you answered every other question. And he didn't do that. When he did respond, I didn't feel like the response was adequately answering the question. And that, again, is going to cause more backlash for him. So after watching this interview, it was not surprising that he had said that he was fed up and that he wants to sell. I would want to sell too, because like I mentioned before, he must be feeling the pressure from the fans, because people want answers. They want transparency, and you are not giving it to them. So they're going to continue to hound you. So it's not surprising that he wants to sell, right? Now, this past week, we've had 2 more bombshells. One, that there's an arrest warrant for Anne, which we already knew that she was already embroiled in some legal case where something to do with fraud, and that she had stepped down as CEO of her own company. So that was already news. But the fact that there was an arrest warrant out for her because she failed to show up to court was news. But the even bigger news than that is the fact that Raul himself is being charged, or has been charged, with drug trafficking, weapon smuggling, something to do with fuel distribution fraud, and organized crime. This is insane. This is insane. I know Netflix is sitting there going, we gonna start writing. And if you are Netflix, give me a call, because I love to contribute. I love to be a director, an EP, something, consultant. Consult me, do something, because I would love to be in on that. That would be so fascinating. I don't want a documentary. I want a dramatization of this, because this shit writes itself. It writes itself. You couldn't even plan this if you tried. Like, it writes itself. This is crazy. Are you kidding me? Not only do we have one owner who is under investigation for fraud, now we have two of them. All 2 of the owners. This is insane. I have never seen this before. This is like absolutely bananas that this happened. I mean, come on. Like, where else does this happen? Never. This has never happened. And here's the thing. I know a lot of people are really taking joy out of him being charged, right, for all of these things. But it makes me question what is going to happen with the future of Miss Universe. Because if you follow any of these types of cases, usually people who are embroiled in this type of investigation, their assets are frozen, right? So I'm just wondering, is that a possibility for the Miss Universe organization to be frozen as part of those assets? Because I would imagine that, and this is just speculation, right, that if they can prove, if investigators can prove that he used illicit funds to purchase Miss Universe, or he used illicit funds to maintain it, or if the Miss Universe organization in any way, shape, or form was used to hide illegal activity, does not mean they could get frozen or seized or something. Like, somebody out there who is a criminal lawyer, comment down below, because I'm curious, what are the next steps? Like, what can we expect for the organization? Right now, I'm wondering, are they even going to be able to have Miss Universe 2026 in Puerto Rico? Are they? Because this is not looking good. Now, I know that it is stated I read it in the Latin Times, that he is basically turning into a witness for the prosecution, and he's going to be giving evidence, which I think is honestly really, like, wow, brave, because, you know, it sounds like you're involved in the cartel with the drugs and stuff. And I just know, like, them people don't mess. So what's going to happen to the pageant? What's going to happen to Raúl himself? Like, there's so many questions. Now, one more thing before I go that I forgot to mention is there's a reel going around showing Fatima's brother and his reaction, or lack thereof, to the results of the competition. And a lot of people are claiming that the fact that he has zero reaction means he knew what was to come. And to that I say, it's really hard for me personally to say yes, for sure he knew, simply because I don't know the man. He could be a very stoic person. He could be a person that does not really get emotional. I know that if it were me, and my sister's dreams were about to come true, and she was so close, I would have a big reaction. There would be something. I would be like holding my breath. I would be like leaning forward. I would be like my hand over my mouth. I would be very into it. I would be leaning forward. I would be doing something, some type of gesture, something that shows that, oh my gosh, I can't believe this. I'm in disbelief. Oh my God. But we didn't see that with him. Is that because he's normally a person who doesn't show a lot of emotion? Or is it because he knew what was to come? Can't say for sure. Really can't say for sure, because I don't know him. And similarly, I know that Fatima herself has come out to say she's received a lot of death threats and a lot of negative comments, and she's being cyber bullied. You guys, we have got to leave space, even if it's the tiniest bit of space, that she may not have known about this. But even if she did know about it, resorting to death threats is never a good option. It's never something that is okay to do. I don't condone it. I think we can absolutely keep the pressure on the organization, on Raúl. But as for the death threats, there's no need for that. I think we need to temper that down and redirect any of our anger and our hurt and whatever feelings that we are feeling, surprise, shock, whatever it is, redirect it to the organization, because this is ultimately on them. It is ultimately their thing to clean up. They need to clean this up. You know, all I can say is that I await to see if there will be more things to come that will reveal whether or not her family was involved, whether or not she knew about it. We just have to wait and see. And, you know, we will get to see, I guess, at some point. Now, it's interesting that the judge who resigned first, Omar, I don't know how he says his last name, Harfouch, he has been going nonstop on social media about this. It seems like he must have some good connections with HBO, because he's done an interview with them. I'm assuming that they're probably putting together a little documentary that we're going to see in a couple of weeks, couple months time. yeah, he's been really letting the cat out the bag. And I'm going to need him to just stop piecemealing and just give me a tell-all. But he probably gave a tell-all to HBO, and that's why he's piecemealing and not really giving us all the information at once. So we can wait to see what comes of that HBO segment, but it'll be very interesting to hear what he has to say in full. Like I'm looking forward to the full explanation. I want timelines. I'm a little bit confused on everything. So I just want to see how it all really played out from his perspective, right? Now, one more thing is that seeing all this play out reminds me of something that I have been a long time advocate for amongst my friends. And I'm going to share this here. I feel like when it comes to pageantry, we need some type of oversight board, some type of regulatory governing body where if we suspect that there has been corruption or anything of the sort, that we can report it to them and there can be an independent investigation into the competition. At present, we don't really have anything like this. And I remember a number of years ago when I used to listen to the Pageant Planet's podcast. They don't do it anymore, but they used to. And they used to have two hosts. One was the owner, Stephen Roddy, and one was a girl named Jessie. And I remember writing in and asking if they feel there should be some type of pageant regulatory board, and Jesse completely agreed. And Stephen Roddy was saying, that's what he feels like Pageant Planet is. But I don't really think Pageant Planet has that kind of reach and that kind of pull. Like, I don't think it's globally known for that. It's globally known as a resource for pageant girls, and they've implemented some things for directors and things like that over the years. But in terms of like actually being a formal regulatory body, it really hasn't come to fruition from Pageant Planet, at least not to me. And I don't know anybody else that looks at Pageant Planet as that type of body, right? So I really do think we need something like that, because that would help so much. Because I know a lot of people are calling for the organization to reveal the scoring of the judges, but someone did point out, and they made a good point online to say that they can reveal the scores, but it doesn't tell you whether or not the judges were pressured to vote for a particular person or not. And that's the truth. How do we know? How do we know, guys? We don't know. So it's a really difficult and tough thing to witness. I can't believe that this is what Miss Universe has come to, but here we are. And do I think that there's a potential for it to come back and rebound and be stronger? Yes, if the organization is allowed to be sold, if Raul can sell his shares, if we can get it under new management, under new ownership, that under someone who has integrity and is going to be in the position to clean this mess up and can reassure the community and build back that trust with the community, then yeah, I absolutely think that we can come back from this. I don't think we're so far gone. Like, I think that there's a lot of people who can understand that just because this happened, it doesn't mean that the pageant itself is bad. It's more so that the people running it don't have enough integrity. So, and I think that that's the nuance there. It's not that the pageant is bad. It's just the people running it need to have more integrity. Now, when I think about potential owners, someone does come to mind, and I've seen him be kind of sly in the comments and make little indications that he might be interested in. And he is a national director, and some of the girlies, when he became a national director, were really excited for him to be a national director. So I feel like maybe he is an upstanding individual that people really like. And so I would be excited to see him take it on and see what he does with it. I'm not going to name him just in case, but y'all can put in comments down below who you think I'm talking about. But it is someone who has been quite vocal on social media and has done a really good job with their national pageant despite the time frame that they had to work in. So could be interesting if he took it over, and I feel like it would be on its way to being restored to its former glory if he did take it on. But as long as somebody who takes it on has the integrity and they have a good team behind them, this can come back. We can survive this. But, we just got to wait to see what happens next. I'm very curious to see what happens next. Comment down below. What do you think is going to be the next thing that is revealed? I'm currently recording this on the 27th of November. I'm hoping to get this out very quickly, but we will see, and hopefully nothing breaks between now and then. All right, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Until next time, have a great day or week, whenever I see you next.